All right. Welcome, Connor family, to another show here with Real Estate Investing with Jay Connor. And we're going to be bringing on my next guest here in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, we just sent out the notification to all of our Facebook followers and our two different YouTube channels. So we're going to have folks showing up here in just a second. So
they already have.
So Scott, are you still like down in Hullup Scullup? Where are you at?
I'm in Medellin, Colombia, the city of Eternal Spring.
You told me that at the live event like week before last, and I still don't know where it is. Where in the world are you?
It's in Colombia, and it's just across the, well, it's not across the border, but if you know where Panama City is, and then you go the same distance over into Colombia, it's there. It's up in the mountains. It's high enough that you get the nice, cool, I wouldn't say cool, but the nice, pleasant spring day. So if you imagine your perfect spring day, the sun is shining, there's a nice breeze, and you're in shirt sleeves, that is what it is like in Medellin every day.
Nice. Yeah. All right, for all of you all who are coming on board right now, we're going to be bringing on my special guest here in just a few moments. And my land, Scott, I've been trying to get this guy on the show, I think, for about a year. I mean, what do we have to do to get him on? But for those of y'all who are coming on in just a minute, our special guest is going to be Coach David Price. And right here on the show, he's going to give you a checkup from the neck up. What I mean by that is, of course, as you all know, here on the show, we talk about all things real estate investing and what relates to anything that relates to real estate investing. And from my experience, Scott, I mean, the most important, one of the most important facets of real estate investing is owning the real estate in between your ears. I know you've heard me talk about that.
Yeah. One of the biggest problems people have is not the knowledge. It's the application of the knowledge in a positive way. And I don't know what it is, if it was something dad said or mom said or your grade 1 teacher said, we seem to all have these self-sabotaging programs running in our head. So you can have the world's best real estate deal and lose money if your head isn't on straight. And if you don't, and I see it all the time talking to real estate investors where they did this right, they did that right, and oops, then they did something. They say, I know I did. Well, as soon as I did that, I knew. And we want to get rid of that because it doesn't matter how good your deal is if you can sabotage it.
Absolutely. So for all of you all that are already on right now, and those of you that are coming on, you'll notice in the comment section, I want you and I need you to be interactive when we go officially starting the show here in just 2 minutes. And I'm going to need all of you all to say hello, say your name. In fact, we already got Kevin right there. Welcome back, Kevin, all the way from Toledo, Ohio. I saw Kevin on the last show. Marie was also on there. And please give my apologies to Marie. We ran out of time and I didn't get to say hello to her. But hey, Marie, if you're still with us, say hello and put your name up there. So for all of y'all, when I bring Coach David on here in just a moment, like in 1 minute, we'll be officially starting the show. When I bring Coach David on, I want all of you to go there in the comment section, put your name up there, say hello, let everybody know where you're from. Thank you, Laundry. There's Marie. Excellent. Everybody else, there's a bunch more of you out there. Put your name up there. Say hello, what city and state that you're from. And when I bring Coach David on here in just a moment, we get going. As questions come to your mind, I want you all to ask your questions. All right. The more questions you ask, I mean, I can sit here and ask Coach David questions and it will be a phenomenal show. But when you ask your questions, it's going to make for even a better show. So you all get in there and get involved. Oh, my lands, Scott, can you believe here is Susan Ross. Susan's been following me on Facebook ever since I started doing it. Hey, Susan, all the way from Chicago. She's been following me from Chicago ever since I launched Facebook Free Coaching Friday. That was like 4 years ago. I launched that on Friday afternoons. And so, Susan, I'm so glad to see you back here. And just so y'all know, we're going to go officially live. We're already live, but we're going to actually start the show here any minute. So I want y'all to know that that here on the show, your all's engagement and your all's questions are very, very important. So I want everybody to know here, every Tuesday, well, 90% of the time, you'll get emails, but every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Eastern, we are, well, at 10 minutes after the hour, 10 minutes after 2 Eastern and 10 minutes after 3 Eastern. I'm live here on the show, whether you're following on Facebook or you're following on YouTube or you're seeing the email. So I want you all, in fact, here's what I need your all's help with. When you all get my emails about the show that's coming out, I want you to forward my emails to everybody on your email list that you think would be remotely interested in coming on and enjoying this content. Because I tell you, folks, Scott, come up here, Scott, so everybody can see your pretty face. So Scott Patton, my podcast producer, we launched the show, folks, June 2018. We're almost to 250,000 downloads and listens. And so anyway, I mean, you don't have that many downloads and listens unless you got a good show and you got good guests and you got a good producer that puts these things together. So spread the word. When you all get my emails, share my email to everybody and anybody that you believe would be interested in, coming on and enjoying the content. Because I just have amazing guests. So we got Susan. Oh, thank you, Susan. Love being on the bus tours with you. Glad to be back. Teresa Suarez, one of our stellar mastermind members, joining us from Georgia. Oh, my lands. I know Coach David can hear this in the wings. He's in the green room right now waiting to come out. But Steve says, Coach David is awesome. That's fantastic. All right. So we are ready to launch this show for real here. And you all just hang on tight. And Scott, let's go ahead and start it up and we'll launch this show. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Investing with Jay Conner. I'm Jay Conner, your host, and also known as the Private Money Authority, coming to you from Morehead City, North Carolina. You may be tuning in on iTunes or Google Play, or you may be watching on one of our YouTube channels. So it's very, very important to us that if you like the show and you like the content that we're delivering to you today, then be sure and subscribe and rate and review and give us 5 stars if you think we're worth 5 stars. And put your comments below. You may be watching a replay of this show on one of our YouTube channels. Now, in addition to that, I want everybody to know I'm so excited to have a very, very special guest, Coach David Price. I'm going to bring him out of the green room in just a second. He's sitting on the sidelines waiting to come in. And Coach David's going to be visiting with you and me today about how to own the real estate in between your ears so that you can actually own more real estate as a real estate investor out here. But before I bring on Coach David, I want everybody to know that I've got a free online class waiting for you to attend to learn about how to get more funding for your deals. So if you are remotely interested in getting more funding for your deals, your real estate deals, regardless of what your credit looks like or what your hard money lender would say or what your mortgage broker would say, then simply go to www.jayconner.com/money podcast. That's jayconner.com/money podcast. And the reason you want to get over there after the show is I'm going to show you and reveal the 5 steps, 5 easy steps and fast steps that will take you to having no funding for your deals, to having a lot of funding for your deals. So again, if you're looking for money for your deals, that's where you want to go. So with that, I'm so excited to have with me today a gentleman that's a dear friend that I've got so much respect for, known him for over 15 years. And in 2018, he became certified as a professional life coach. Since that time, and as of this show, he has coached over 100 one-on-one and group sessions. In addition, he is the founder and creator of the 12-part personal development system titled The Power Within. And he's been married for over 20 years, got 3 children, got 1 grandchild. He's also the same minister and preacher of the church where Carol, Joy, and I go. He's been there, I lose track of time, for about 15 years. And the reason I've got this gentleman here on the show with me today is because you can have all the knowledge, you can know everything there is to know about real estate investing, but unless you have got this right in between your ears and you've got the right outlook, you got the right attitude, you don't have things holding you back to keep you from taking action, then all that information about real estate investing is going to do you absolutely no good. As a matter of fact, my platinum coaching students get to enjoy Coach David in the first 12 sessions of our session groups that we have with the platinum sessions and platinum groups. So with that, it's my pleasure to bring on right now our special guest of the show, Coach David Price.
Hey, Jay.
And there comes Coach David.
Hey there.
So, Scott, on my end, I am not seeing Coach David. Scott, can you come to the forefront? And Scott, there you are, but I'm not hearing you all. So I tell you what I'm going to do.
Coach David.
Everybody that's live, you all stay right where you are. Don't go anywhere. I think I may have a little issue with my internet going on. So everybody stay where you are. And Scott, you and Coach David visit for just a moment, and I'll be right back.
Technology is wonderful.
It's great when it works. How are you, Scott?
I'm doing great, Coach Dave. So
Good.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
When it comes to people and achieving success, what do you think what do you see as the number one issue that they have? Is it, and I'll lead it a little bit by saying, is it self-worth, self-esteem? Is it them being able to feel confident, or what do you think?
I'm back, Scott, if you can hear me.
I can. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know what was going on with all of that. So anyway, let's for the sake of the podcast and the replay, Scott, let's put David in the green room. Everybody that's live, thank you for hanging in there on our little technical difficulty, and I'll pick it up and bring Coach David back out. Sound good, Scott?
Yes, it does.
All right. Excellent. Okay, here we go. So with that, let's bring Coach David Price right on here to the show. Welcome to the show, Coach David.
Hello, Jay Connor.
Hello, Coach David. My lands, you look like you took, I mean, you're always happy, but you look like you took your extra happy pill today. What's going on today that's like got you like lifted up to the ceiling?
Well, Jay, I'm actually a little disappointed. I'm upset right now.
Why?
Well, because my face didn't come in on fire with sparks like your face does. That's a little disappointing to me. I guess I have to have my own show. Yeah, see, I don't get that. I do that before I preach.
You know what? Even on the PowerPoint, that's what we should do before you come up to the pulpit. Yeah. We can have like this little sizzler video, you know, that just sort of brings you up there to the pulpit. That'd be good.
And I'll come on with jazz hands.
I love it. I love it. Well, Coach David, let me tell you something. Hey, can you see all these people that have already joined here live?
Yeah, I did. It was exciting. It was great to see Steve and Teresa and Kevin and Marie, and it was fantastic to see all. Yeah, man, absolutely.
So for those of you all that are, of course, if you all are listening to our podcast right now, you won't be able to interact. But or one of the replays, but for everybody that is live right now, we for sure want you to say hello, tell us who you are, where you are tuning in from. We've got Susan from Chicago, Teresa from Georgia. We got Steve. We've got Marie. We've got David. How do you say Lanre? I apologize. Lanre, I'm not sure. But anyway, we got people from all over. So listen, folks, we're going to jump in here to the show. And Coach David is going to be talking to us, as I said when we opened up, about how you own the real estate in between your ears so you can actually own more real estate. But Coach David, first of all, before we dive in, how did you get involved in this space? How did you, in other words, have you always been this like personal development kind of guy, coach kind of guy? What's your background and how did you end up here?
Not hardly. Well, Jay, I really, for a very long time in my life, I've struggled with a lot of things. I've done a lot of things successfully. I had a very successful ministry over 30 years. I continue to have been successful in coaching sports and in a lot of things. But Jay, I struggled for many, many years with mediocrity, with being average, with not accomplishing things that I wanted to accomplish, with a lot of discouragement, a lot of feelings of depression, and just really difficult to overcome all that. And no, I have not always been in this space. And so, Jay, as I began to learn about personal development principles like taking responsibility, like getting clarity of vision, setting goals, scheduling things, positive mindset. As I begin to learn those kinds of things, it totally turned my life around, and somebody might say, well, as a Christian, shouldn't you kind of have been there already? Jay, for a long time in my life, I was asking God to kind of, to turn me around and to work all kind of miracles and to do things for me. I was hoping that my luck would change, that something would just come along and flip the switch. And Jay, what I realized was that God, as a being created in God's image, that God has given me the power to make decisions. He's given me the power to make choices, that God has given me the power to take responsibility and to create things in my own life by what I do, by what I say, by what I think. And so that's kind of how I got here, Jay. I was very discouraged at one point, or several times over my life, had thought about suicide at one point, had even decided on a way to do that and was serious about doing that. And so I've been at some very low points, but realizing the power of personal responsibility and making decisions and taking control of my life have just been a game changer for me and caused a lot of great things to happen in my life.
So was there any particular trigger that came along that was it like a process or, on my podcast here, Real Estate Investing with Jay Conner, we have thousands and thousands of people that download and listen and watch this show. And so there will be a lot of people out there that can relate to have been going through times in their life that were down, that were dark, that they may have been experiencing that darkness for many years. I'm just going to start asking you some questions here. What is it that can cause that trigger to help somebody turn around?
Jay, that's a great question. And I'll be honest with you, for a long time, in a lot of ways, I dealt with a lot of discouragement because I kept trying different things and different avenues. And Jay, what I found, and I'll give you an example as far as my weight loss is, Jay, at one point I was within sight of 300 pounds. I was morbidly obese, not exercising, not in shape at all. And I tried this and that and the other thing, and I just kept trying stuff and I kept failing. And then at some point it just kind of clicked. Jay, I've told you the story before about, just realizing one day, like, I got to do something. And that kind of turned it around. And what I realized, Jay, that is the secret is not to quit, because a lot of times we try and we fail and we try something else. And at some point we say, okay, I'm done trying. The thing that I'm so grateful about is that I was surrounded by people, that I have a God who is a God of infinite chances. I was surrounded by people who never stopped encouraging me and believing in me when there wasn't a lot to believe in. And I never stopped trying. I kept trying different things. And so with the weight loss, for instance, I kept trying and failing, and then I hit on something that worked, and I never looked back. And over the last several years, Jay, as you know, I've lost 100 pounds. Over the last year, I've gotten down to almost my high school weight, and for the first time in decades, and through, a combination of diet and running and that kind of thing. But Jay, the key for me was not to give up. And I guess that's one area in which it's important to have people on your side, to have people who are in your corner, whether those are coaches or mentors, or whoever that might be. Jay, I had people that never gave up on me. In fact, you were one of those people that never gave up on me, and you saw some things in me that I didn't see in myself. The key for me, Jay, was to not give up. You're going to try, you're going to fail, you're going to cast about looking for different things and not finding what you're looking for. But if you will keep at it, and if you will keep trying, eventually it clicks, things begin to fall into place, and then it just opens up like a floodgate.
If you're just joining in with us here on the show, my special guest today is Coach David Price, and we are talking about how to take ownership of that real estate that exists in between your ears, and actually how to be in control of your destiny. And be sure and hang on to the end of the show here. Coach David Price has got a free gift for everyone, which is a free audio session. And in this audio session that he's going to give away to you here at the end of the show is going to teach you in this session actually how to get and take 100% control and responsibility for everything that's going on in your life. And also, if you're just joining in with us, Coach David is open to some questions and comments. So if you are here with us live on the show, you can be commenting in the comment bar. You can be commenting with you agree with what's said. You can be asking Coach David specific questions as relates to personal development, and et cetera. So back to you, Coach David. You have also developed a system, or a 4-part system, that talks about specifically how to eliminate stress. So talk to us about that and what that system looks like. Not that we would have anybody here on the show that has any kind of stress in their life, right? So, talk to us about your system on how to eliminate stress.
Well, Jay, this is something that I've developed kind of through a couple of things, through my own experience of dealing with stress, having started a business a few years ago. For the first time in my life, I've been a minister for many years, but not a businessman in any way. And so having started a business, and then thinking back, Jay, about the things that I had been able to have success with, how was I able to do that? And through getting out and talking to people in my business, coaching for professionals and business owners, how to eliminate stress in their business, and just seeing what it is that people are struggling with, And so what I've found is that, a lot of people go into business, or they go into real estate investment specifically, Jay, for your audience, because they want freedom, right? They want freedom. They want the freedom to do the things that they want to do. They don't want to be working for somebody else. They want to make the decisions. They want to set the schedule. But my lands, when you have all the freedom to set the schedule and to make the decisions, then what does that lead to, right? It's called choice overload. You got all these options, and now time management is a real issue. Jay, I was at a business group here in town not too long ago, and there was a gentleman there who owns 2 different businesses, and he's been in business for, I guess, going on 40 years. And Jay, do you know that he said that even now for him, time management is a problem. Time management is an issue for him. I'm away by that. And so this is what I find is that people who are professionals and business owners, like real estate investors, they're really struggling with, I've got a limited amount of time and I'm not really sure what I need to be doing with it. I'm doing these things, but I don't know if they're working, right? So you have that issue. You have people who are trying to do it on their own. They're trying to figure it out on their own. and they just have all of these issues. And so what led me to this was my own experience coupled with getting out there and talking to people and coaching people and listening about what their issues were, Jay. And what that led me to was this 4-part process of how to eliminate stress and create success in business. And anybody can use it. And if you're a mom trying to create a good environment for your children at home, if you're a business person, if you're an athlete, I don't care who you are, this 4-part process is where the answers are, I believe.
Before we dive into the 4-part process, we got some more comments coming in here live on the show. Steve says, Coach David, your series on Jay's platinum calls have truly been enjoyable and inspirational. So a big thank you there to Steve. And we've got Sonia and Damien joining in here all the way from Kansas City. So hello, Damien and Sonia. Glad to have you here on the show. If y'all are just joining in here with us for the first time, we got Coach David Price here, expert on professional development and personal development. He is the creator of the Power Within series and also the creator of a 4-part system that dives in step by step on how to eliminate stress. So, Coach David, did you happen to bring with you, or do you have available the 4-steps process that we can put up actually on the screen and we can share that, or do you want to just talk about it?
Well, I've got one. I don't know how well it'll come through, or if you want me to do this or not, or how you want me to do that, Jay. It's totally up to you.
Actually, since we've got thousands and thousands of listeners just on the podcast, I would just talk through it. Okay,
sure. Absolutely. So, Jay, it begins with creating a vision, and we know this from life in general. If you don't know where you're going, you have no idea how to get there. The first question to answer if you're taking a trip is what? Where am I going? Right?
That's right.
Where you're going, you don't know how to proceed. So, if somebody says that I'm going on a trip, I don't know what to pack. I don't know what tickets to buy. I don't know what route to take. I don't know what itinerary to make. I don't know anything until I know where I'm going, because a trip to Anchorage, Alaska, or a trip to Medellin, Colombia, very jealous. Scott was talking to us about Medellin, Colombia, Scott. I was really jealous about that a while ago. But if I'm going to Alaska or if I'm going to Colombia, Jay, those are 2 different destinations that require vastly different means of getting there. And so the first thing we have to do is create this clarity of vision. And this is more than just an idea. Everybody wants to make $1 million. I want to make $1 million. That's great. Everybody does. But very few people who want to make $1 million actually do. What's the difference between people who want to make $1 million, people who do make $1 million? The people who do have a great clarity of vision around what that looks like. And that includes all kinds of things, Jay, like what are you going to do with it? What do you want? Well, I just want $1 million. Well, for what? As my personal coach and guru, David Bayer, teaches, money, another word for money is currency. And currency is the language of electricity, right? And electricity flows. It flows from one place to another. And money or currency needs a place to flow to and a reason to flow there. And so what are you going to do with $1 million? What kind of house are you going to have? What kind of car are you going to drive? What are you going to do with your time? What kind of business do you want to have? Where do you want to work out of? Who do you want to work with? What charities do you want to support, right? All of these things. Until we have a clarity about those things, just like taking a trip, Jay, how can you know how to get there if you don't have any idea where you're going? That's part number 1. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like, first of all, if I don't know where I'm going, like you said, I don't know if I got there or not, right? so yeah, I mean, it's like, I agree with you. I mean, like that's the first step for sure.
Absolutely. And so one thing we do, Jay, in my system, when I'm coaching people, is to get clarity around this. So we ask the big questions. Where do you want to live? Who do you want to be with? Do you want to spend your time with? What do you want to be doing? We ask those questions and we get very specific about that, Jay. And I find in my coaching, when I'm coaching somebody, a lot of times they get to a point where they feel a little foggy or a little lost or a little uncertain. And Jay, what we do is we come back to that vision. And we say, okay, let's remember where we're trying to get to, right? This is not an exercise in daydreaming or in, wasting time. This is something that I personally use. As you know, Jay, I use this every day in my morning routine as I journal about my ideal life and what does that look like. And I journal about that every day because it keeps me focused on it, Jay. And I find that with people I'm coaching, we constantly have to go back to that vision. It's okay, where are you trying to get to? Right. So I'm trying to make this decision right here about what to do about this job. Okay, here's where you want to get to. So what decision are you going to make here that's going to lead to that? Right. So it's a very practical, very useful tool in all of this, and it's very necessary. It's just a very important beginning to the process.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So I don't know how you're doing on time. You want to cover the other 3 steps, or should we move on?
Yeah, I'd be happy to, Jay. And so once we create the vision, then what we do is to kind of back up from that a little bit and say, okay, what are the goals that we need to set? Right? What goals do we need to set? What are the specific things that we need to reach to make that vision happen? Right? So the vision is kind of an idea, a very specific idea. But now with the goals, now we're kind of getting hard and fast with that, right? We're going to say, okay, these are the goals that we need to meet. We need to get to this point, in 3 years, in 2 years, 1 year, a month, or whatever. And so we set goals. Are you hearing me okay, Jay?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, I couldn't see me. I don't know if I was still in there. So we need to set goals. And Jay, here's the crucial thing. We need to put dates on those. Right? People are scared to do that because they say, man, I want to set a goal, but I don't want to put a date on it because if I don't reach the goal at that point, I'm a failure. What do I do then? And, now I don't know what to do. And so I want a goal, but I don't want to put a date on it. Jay, what would you say to that? How would you counsel somebody who said, I've got a specific goal, but I don't want to put a date on it because I may not reach it by then? What would you tell somebody like that?
Well, what I've discovered over the years is unless I actually get my goal actually on my calendar, then odds are it's not going to get done. In fact, I seldom even use what people used to call a to-do list. What I say is unless you've got the goal or the task scheduled, it's probably not going to get done. So therefore, I came up with the mantra, successes are scheduled.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so we've got to put a date on those goals. You have to have a time by which you expect to be completed. And what if you don't reach it by the, well, the simple answer is you set a new date, right? And you keep working toward that. But goal setting and date setting are crucial. And so that's step number 2. And then we back that up and get into what you were just talking about, Jay, and that is scheduling our action steps. And so now we've got this goal. So now we're going to schedule the action steps that we need to take in order to get there, right? And so you can see how all of this works together. And it's all based on the vision, which creates the goals, which creates the action steps. And so it's very systematic, Jay. When I started my business, I was a lost ball in high weeds. I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing, what was going to be the most effective. Everybody was telling me it's got to be video. Everybody's in video. If you're not doing video, you're dead. If you're not on Facebook, on Instagram, if you're not on LinkedIn, you're dead, right? You got to be doing Facebook ads and all that stuff. Well, so I was trying anything that I could do. I had no idea if it was working or if I should even be doing it until I got some coaching and I was able to get some clarity. And in that coaching, I created my vision, I created my goals, then I was able to get my action steps. And Jay, my business turned around. It absolutely turned around. It was a 180, right? Or as we say in Kentucky, a 360. It was a 180 from not having any idea what I was supposed to be doing to setting vision, setting goals, setting action steps. Now, Jay, I know what I'm doing every day. I'm getting speaking engagements. In just the last couple of months, my client list, my client number of clients has doubled. And because of this process. And so it makes all the difference. And again, as you said, those action steps have got to get on the calendar. If you cannot pull out your calendar, and I love a paper calendar, but if you can't pull out your calendar and see your action steps, guess what? They're not going to happen. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. And so it's got to be scheduled to make sure that it's going to happen. Someday is not a day on the calendar, Jay, as we say all the time. So that's the first three parts of the process. Set a vision, very clear and specific. From that vision, set your goals. And then now that you have goals, you can set action steps and you can work through those in a systematic kind of way. See, so Jay, it takes the guesswork out of it. It takes the uncertainty out of it. It takes the, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't know if I'm doing anything. I've been there, and I know how that is. It's frustrating.
Well, it sounds to me like prior to you actually getting your, getting this process in place and actually following this process, it sounds to me like you were getting up in the morning. You had launched your coaching business back in 2018, and it's like you were like, like throwing seeds everywhere, hoping something would stick, right, or something would come up out of it. But when you actually incorporated this process, then that's really when your business took off.
That's exactly what happened, Jay. That's exactly right. And again, as I look back over my life and I see the things that I've been able to have success at, it's because of these same principles. And I may not have even realized it at the time, but these are the keys to success. It eliminates stress because it lets you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be and you're moving the right direction. Things are measurable. You can check them off and see where you are. And you know that you've got this destination in mind. And then so the fourth part of that, Jay, one thing that I've found is that a lot of business people are type A's, go-getters, independent, smart people, capable people, passionate people, but people who sometimes feel like that they can and must do everything on their own. I've got to make it happen. I got to figure out the answers, right? Terrible delegators, terrible at team building and all that kind of stuff. I'm the only one who can do it right. That sort of thing. Hard to let go. And so I found that with a lot of these folks, I have to do it on my own mentality. Is Jay, that just doesn't work. I was very intrigued to see that Richard Branson, and everybody knows Richard Branson. He owns Virgin, which now consists of over 400 companies. And Richard Branson personally is worth $4 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so when Richard and I were hanging out on my private island the other day, okay, I just made that up. That didn't really happen. But also quote, he may be down there with Scott in Medellin, Jay. I'm not sure out together. But anyway.
By the way, Coach David, for those that are watching the replay video, we need to remind podcast producer Scott, change Jay Conner to Coach David here on the screen. Go ahead, Coach David. There you go.
I'm not the private money authority. That's right. I'm the donut authority is what I am. But what was I talking about?
Yeah, step four.
Right. So we had this mindset of I've got to do it on my own. Richard Branson said, fabulously successful entrepreneur and businessman, said that the solo entrepreneur is a myth. He said it just doesn't work, that the best entrepreneurs and business owners are collaborators, they're delegators, they're people that know how to build teams and accept help. And he said, Jay, he said his favorite entrepreneur, Steve Jobs, everybody knows the legend Steve Jobs. He said the misconception about Steve Jobs is that he was a maverick, that he was a loner. He said it's absolutely not true. Richard Branson said that Steve Jobs was very much a person who understood the necessity of getting help. And so, Jay, what I have found is that with my own self and my business, that things turn around when I get help. Jay, the personal development help that I got from you, as you know, totally changed my life. When I was talking to a friend of mine and he was sharing his success on Nutrisystem that I had never considered as a diet, I tried it. It turned my life around. I got that idea from him. I read a book called Born to Run. And that book got me into running, which has completely changed my life. I'm a totally different person since I started running many years ago. Just in the last few months, I have spent over $10,000 on coaching, not to mention, Jay, all of the business mentoring and the coaching, the friendship that I get from you. So, Jay, what I'm saying is that my life has been completely changed and my business has taken off as a result of getting help.
Mm-hmm.
We do it on our own. And I know, Jay, I've heard you talk about the people in your past. Jay, you're just fabulously successful in what you've done, but you haven't done it on your own.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean, just a few of the people, Jay, that have been instrumental with you. I mean, just share a few of those people.
Well, sure. Well, I mean, since we have a real estate show here, I mean, my first year of being in real estate investing, I did it wrong. I tried to be the solo entrepreneur by reading a book or two. I found out that's not the way to go. And my first year of getting a coach in real estate investing, my business tripled over my first year. And, I've heard it said you can either invest your time or you can invest your money. If you invest your money, you're just going to get there a whole lot quicker. But associating yourself, I mean, mastermind groups, I mean, talk about getting help, right? So since 2011, I have been an active member of at least one mastermind group every year. And for the past 4 years, I have been a member of 2 different mastermind groups. And speaking of mastermind groups and getting help, I mean, Coach David, you are a member of, it's not called a mastermind group, but that's what it is. I mean, tell everybody what you do on Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. That's free. That's free.
Absolutely. It's a business roundtable here in the county, and it is a mastermind. That's exactly what it is. We go in, we talk about what's going on with our business, and we have around us business owners and entrepreneurs, and they just share ideas and thoughts. It goes on for an hour, and it has been huge in my business, Jay. I've gotten clients out of it. I've gotten business ideas. I've gotten leads. I've gotten speaking engagements. It's just been huge. And so the point, Jay, that I'm making is that we cannot do it on our own. Just think about, Jay, the importance of somebody in your corner who will ask you questions that you hadn't thought of, who will help you think about things you hadn't thought of, who will encourage you when you are down.
And don't we need that?
Can't lift yourself up always. Who will help you to transform your mindset. We can't come up with all the answers on our own. And, Jay, and this is huge, accountability. Somebody who will call you up and say, here's what you committed to. Have you done what you committed to? This is what we talked about. Have you done that? Jay, I have found that spiritually in business, just in life, that having an accountability partner is one of the most powerful things you can do to keep you out of doing the wrong thing and to help you to do the right thing. Coaching, mentoring have been unbelievably transformational in my life and in my business. And so this is, as a coach, obviously, Jay, this is what I do. This is my business, coaching for business owners and professionals. And so you can hire somebody to do it. And as you said, when you invest money, the chances of success are a lot higher. If you don't have skin in the game, I know, Jay, I tried to get along for a long time by getting all the free content and teaching and material that I could get. And I thought, if you can get it for free, why would you pay for it? Because when you don't have skin in the game, when you don't make an investment, then you don't take it seriously. It doesn't work. All right. So having that sort of thing is important, but somebody may not be in a position to do that. That's fine, whatever. But find somebody who can come alongside you and who can keep you accountable, who can build you up and encourage you and help you think about things that you haven't thought about. I'm telling you, you just can't do without it. You cannot do this on your own. You can't. And that's what I love, Jay, about what you do, because the team that you built with Scott and Crystal and Dan, with Chaffee and John and all of these wonderful people, are helping change the lives and businesses of all of your students and people that listen to you. It's just making all the difference. And so don't try to do it on your own. It's just not going to happen.
Well, that's the best advice you could have given anybody today, Coach David. Well, Coach David, before we call this show a wrap, we promised everybody at the beginning that you've got a free gift for all of our viewers and listeners. And this is whether you're watching live or you're watching one of the replays, or you could be tuning in to our podcast on iTunes or Google Play, which, by the way, if you are listening to us on iTunes or Google Play, we really appreciate for you to give us a subscribe and rate and review, and give us 5 stars. We appreciate that if you think we're worth 5 stars. So the free gift, what have you got for our audience there, Coach David?
Absolutely, Jay. Well, I'm giving away a free week with Scott in Columbia. So just let me know. I'll email you Scott's address, and we'll get you down there with Scott for a week. Fabulous Columbia. So I've got, Jay, as you know, I have my 12-part audio system, The Power Within. And the very first lesson in that system is life in the driver's seat. And it has to do with taking control of your life, because as you and I talk about all the time, it's absolutely step one. As long as you haven't taken control of your life, nothing changes. This is where it begins. And so I'm giving away that session, Life in the Driver's Seat. It's about 15 or 20 minutes. And so if you will go to my website, which is Excellence Awaits, you can put in your email there, and I will send you a link to access that session, Life in the Driver's Seat. And so you can listen to that and learn about the importance of personal responsibility. The address right there on the screen. And so I'd love to hear from you and send you that free session on taking responsibility.
Coach David, I appreciate you offering that to our audience. So when people go to excellenceawaits.com, and for those that are listening to the podcast, that's excellence, just like the word, EXCELLENCE, awaits, still the same word, AWAITS, excellenceawaits.com. When they get there to the website, where do they go and what are they looking for to take advantage of this free gift?
Yeah, they're just going down to the bottom there, and they're going to see a box to put email in for more information and that kind of thing. So it's just a box there at the bottom. They're going to put their email right in there and to contact me, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to send it right out to them. All
right, that's perfect. Well, Coach David, I've been wanting to have you here on the show for a long time, and I'm so glad that we finally got our schedules put together. So as we wrap it up, final parting comments for our audience.
Well, thank you, Jay, and thanks to Scott. It's been a joy, and I really appreciate it. Appreciate what you do. I appreciate what Scott does. And again, just keep in mind that there is a system. There is a way to make it happen. It does not happen by accident. You're not going to go out and just kind of fall into, what you're trying to do. You're going to set a vision. You're going to create goals, schedule action steps. Then you're going to get some support, and it's going to happen by doing that, not accidentally. It's going to happen by being intentional. And so thanks for letting me share how that works, Jay. And I hope it's been of value to your audience. It's certainly been a pleasure for me.
It sure has. Thank you, Coach David. Again, folks, take advantage of Coach David's free audio session, How to Take Control of Your Life, at www.excellenceawaits.com. Well, that's it for this show, folks. I'm Jay Conner, the Private Money Authority, wishing you all the best, and here's to taking your real estate investing business to the next level. We'll see you on the next show, and bye for now. Well, all of y'all that are still live here on the show, thank you so much for taking the time to join in. Let's see. Again, a big thank you to all of you that said hello. We got Marie and Steve and Susan and Steve and Teresa and on and on and on. Thank y'all for being there. And Scott, thank you for another awesome production of this show, Scott.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Coach David?
He disappeared.
Oh, he hung up.
He hung up. He left.
So
it's just
for everybody, I'm sorry, Scott, what you got?
I said, it's just you and me now.
There you go. So, and our live audience. Again, I want to remind everybody, we're going to be, watch your email. We're going to be live next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Eastern. And when you get the emails, folks, share the love. Anybody you think that would enjoy, coming on the show and enjoying the content, be sure and forward these emails you receive from me. And we just love to have everybody come and join us. So anything else, Producer Scott, before we call it a wrap here on this show?
I think they can all get a free gift if they go to this URL.
You reckon? Yeah, so we got my free online class that will take you through the easy, fast steps on getting funding for your deals at jayconner.com, JAYCONNER.com/money podcast. So, Scott, thank you for another awesome show.
It was a great job, Jay, and thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
All right, see y'all next week. Bye for now.